You're having an amazing day. I'm honored to be connecting in with you in a month that is so focused on love. And there's so many different ways that we can look at love, including our self love and how are we bringing who we truly are forward. And today we have an amazing expert who has gone on a very powerful journey and really discovered how to step into her power and really connect with who she truly is and bring that forward. And now she's going to be reaching out to help so many do that too. So I'm very excited to have her joining us. And I was reflecting this morning, I was sharing with our amazing guest before we started the show that so often I get so busy, and today we're actually launching a book, so it's exciting and busy, and it's one that I've been very involved in. And as I was walking by the window, this sparkle caught my eye, and I stopped for a moment and I paused and I became really present. And I saw all these little dewdrops on all the green leaves and blades of grass, and the sun was hitting them in such a way they just shined little mini rainbows in each of the little droplets. And I just paused for a moment and just appreciated how beautiful that was. And it also reminded me that we can all be that light. We can choose what we're reflecting, what we're shining out, what we're owning and sharing with ourselves, and what we're choosing to bring forward. And I believe each of you are such a gift and can bring that sparkle, that shine into your life and to those around you. And that was just something that touched my heart this morning, and I wanted to share it with you. And even in the busyness, when we can just take a moment to stop and pause, it can just shift our perspective, bring a smile to our face, help us really drink in the beauty and the magic of moments that are all around us. So I hope you drink in many magic moments today. And to support us, to really be present and drink in everything that is being prepared for you today, I invite you to stop, become centered, maybe look out the window and see what you see. Take a deep breath in through the nose, all the way to your toes. Just picture that breath going through you, bringing in a beautiful, wonderful support. And as you breathe out, releasing what no longer does. It's lowering your cortisol levels as we take this mindful, purposeful breathing, those stress levels. That breathing out creates room and space for more, because I want you to be able to receive, have room to receive, space to receive everything that is here for you today. And I know there's something here for you by the very nature that you are tuning in today. So let's be open as we become present. And in fact, let's just dial that a little bit deeper. I invite you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Place both hands on your heart. Continue that beautiful breathing. And as you keep breathing in and out, and you're putting your hands on your heart, just notice that heartbeat. What is your heart whispering to you today, beat by beat? And then notice the pause in between the beats. And what is speaking to you there? What is it that you need today, or your heart is reminding you of? What is the message? What is it that you need that will encourage, empower, and support you on your journey? Beautiful. And let's add into that you are willing to receive, because you absolutely have choice. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Let's take a breath. Eyes open, come back into the room, fully present, and I invite you to write on a piece of paper what it is that was laid on your heart. Let's keep that top of mind. So as we go through our time together, our conversation today, you can see how that moves forward. What gets added to that? Be listening with eager, excited anticipation to see what can serve and support you on your journey. Beautiful. And with that, I'd love to bring on our amazing guest, Lisa. And Lisa, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart when you took a moment to just stop, pause, and listen.
I was thinking about how life is so important to live, just experience and to continue learning and growing. And one of the phrases I like to say is life is beautifully difficult, because even in the difficulties, there are valuable experiences and lessons. And we have the ability to choose what to do with those experiences, whether they're good or bad.
I love that phrase, beautifully difficult. And looking for the beauty and choice in those difficult times is very powerful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Listeners, how about you? When you stopped and paused, maybe you looked out the window, you heard a message in your heart. What is it that is really bubbling up as we come together today? And that phrase, beautifully difficult, perhaps that added to what was laid on your heart. As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, what I want you to know about these breaks are they are pauses, especially designed for you on purpose, so that you're able to stop, pause, breathe, be present, integrate on a cellular level those things that serve you most. So as we go to this first break, choose to stay present, really be with you and see what is on your heart and spirit. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. It can make such a difference when we just remember to stop and pause and be present. It's amazing the perspective we'll have And from that pause, we can choose how we navigate forward. And I'm so glad you're choosing to spend time with us today. I'm very excited to introduce our amazing guest with you. I know you're going to enjoy her heart and spirit, and she is bringing something so powerful forward in the world that I'm excited to have her share about it with you today. So, let me give you just a little snapshot of Lisa. She is the mother of five and a granny to seven grandchildren. She is a life coach and works with people to do deep dives to really help them create life, their way. And she's passionate about you reconnecting with who you truly are and choosing what you want to bring forward. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, heart centered, and dynamic Lisa Sitze to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm just so excited to have you joining us, and it has been a pleasure getting to know you and to be on some of your journey with you. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people in this way? Why is that personally so important to you?
Well, when I was growing up, it felt like I would have ideas. I was learning, I was growing like every child does, but I kept getting it wrong. I felt like I was always getting it wrong, and the world I didn't feel like anybody really understood me. And I know a lot of people can feel that way. It helped later on when my mother was diagnosed, and it helped me look into and understand why I
Mm-hmm.
felt that way, because people don't understand that particular personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what's really misunderstood is how the someone that lives in the realm of that particular type of personality disorder what they experience, because that part is people are just now starting to understand what the dynamics of that kind of abuse really has.
Beautiful. And I love that you're bringing that voice forward to really empower people who have been on that journey where they are growing up in an environment with that particular personality disorder. And I'd love for you to share what is it that your mom was diagnosed with, and what is it that you had to navigate in that, because I do believe there are a lot of myths and misunderstandings around this particular disorder that people have and are growing up in.
Yeah. So my mother was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder
Mhm.
when I was in my early 50s or mid 50s. And it gave me, at the first, I didn't really understand what that meant. I had no idea how that related to anything.
Mhm.
And as I studied, like, okay, well, I want to understand her better. So I started researching it. And the more I researched, the more I found um, how pernicious and difficult this particular kind of disorder can be to those in the realm of that kind of a person. So it's what gave me recognition to understand why my life was the way it was growing up, and how so then it became okay, so what do I do with that information?
And so as you went on that journey and you started to dig in deeper and understand more about this particular disorder, were there moments where like, aha, or I see, or this is why? Did you find it an empowering kind of journey, a
Oh,
healing
yeah.
journey, or I'm not sure what to do with it? I'd love to know a little bit about that.
It was both. There were times when I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this information, and then I would dig in deeper and I would
Hmm.
find how much more I had to learn. And, the more you learn, the more you question. And
Mm-hmm.
there were so many questions. I had so many misunderstandings of the way life was. I was always told that a mother has unconditional love to her child, because we just love our children. That's the way a mother is, and that's not what my mother could do. She wasn't capable of doing that, and I used to say as a kid, she loves me in her way. And that looked like, use her words, beating me to keep me soft, to keep me compliant. And, I needed to be beaten on occasion so that I would listen and do what I was told. And then she acted like it would wear out. And so she had to do it again. And it was just not something that any child should have to go through. That is
Mm-hmm.
not how you raise a child.
Mm. And it's in learning these things and understanding, because you mentioned earlier that you always felt different, like you couldn't quite connect or identify with others. And this is an example where your experience was very different in the relationship with your mother, and that she wasn't able to love in the way you kind of heard other mothers loved.
Yeah.
How did discovering that impact your journey? And as you did this research and you went deeper, what things did that maybe unlock or help you own in different ways as you learned, discovered, explored, and went deeper?
Well, to start off, she, so people that have narcissistic personality disorder have a tendency to, I call them ninja manipulators, because they can take situation, and for my particular situation, my mother was in, like, there's anybody else around, she would act one way, and then when we were alone, she would act a completely different way, and it was very confusing to me. So I would tell somebody that she said something horrible, and they would, oh, your mother would never say that. And so I was gaslighted, not just by my mother, but the world. Everybody thought I was making stuff up because that's what she would tell them.
Mm,
And I really was clumsy as a kid. And so she would use that when I had bruises and stuff. And, half of them I really did create myself because I'd bump into a walls. I admit that, but some of them were not. And I
mm,
would go to school with long sleeve shirts to protect, quote unquote, protect my mother. And when I learned about all of this as actual abuse, I tried to, because I was in my 50s, I tried to figure out what I was going to do with that. And I chose to find positive ways to change my life.
mm-hmm,
And it took me a while, but I learned how to not hate her.
mm-hmm,
But I had to hate her for a short time because that was just what I needed to part of the process.
mm-hmm,
And that's what I teach now is you have the feelings, you have the right to have your feelings. So how are we gonna work through those? Not how are we gonna get rid of them, but how are we gonna
mm-hmm.
work through them?
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I'm so sorry that that was your experience.
Yeah,
And
it sucks.
yeah, and I honor and celebrate that you have come through those emotions and feelings and are looking for the positive and are now courageous and leaning out forward to help others. That is just a really powerful, courageous act, and can make such a difference when we can harness our energy and focus to heal ourselves and to really make a powerful difference for others. So I thank you for you and for the work that you do in the world.
Well, thank you. I want others that are where I was to know that they're not alone.
Mhm.
That's really my main goal, is to help people recognize that they're not alone. They really aren't crazy. And authenticity is the goal. And who are they? That's what I try to help people find out. Who are they at their core? Because a narcissist won't let you figure that out for yourself, because that would take away control from them. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And one of the ways that you are reaching out to the world in a sense to support and help is you're bringing forward a powerful book. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about this book, the title, when it's coming out, and what you really hope that it helps people with, and a little bit about it. I know I have a long list,
Yeah,
but there's
right.
so much I want you to share about this real it's a very impactful book. I've had the opportunity to read it, and I just found it so rich in thought-provoking questions and understanding things and really being able to move forward in a positive way. So it's a book I'm very excited for you to share about.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited for it to be published. It's called Facing Your Demons. Uh, and the subtitle is Healing Beyond Narcissistic Family Relationships. Because there's, as I pointed out before, there's so much that someone that what is where I was doesn't understand about the situation, because it's very confusing. Um, as I wrote the book, it took me 3 years to write it, because I wanted to make sure that I got the science behind why we act the way we do when we are abused in that fashion by the people that we are born to, that are expected by society to be taking care of you and raising you and teaching you about life. Instead of, I don't tell people, I help let them figure out for themselves, because I believe every human being has what I call an intrinsic blueprint that gives them the foundation to be able to give their life the blessings and make their life their way. As you said earlier, it's like we each have desires and dreams and goals, and the only way we can do that is when we can get into our authenticity and into our intrinsic blueprint, because I believe that is us at our foundation. That is the foundation of who we are at our core. So it
Beautiful.
gives us the strength to recognize and when something is not right for us, and then when something is right for us, and we can build on that. That's why I call it a blueprint, because we can build on it.
Thank you for sharing. And that I think is, and not just think, I know, is an important reminder for all of us to know that. And when we can really own who we are and who we're not and have that clarity and stand in that, we can be more authentically who we are for ourselves and for those around us and for the world. And that is absolutely needed in the world and starts to create a powerful positive difference both for ourselves as well as for those around us. And this book that you have written and is about to come out. Now I know it's coming out on March 5th, so it's just around the corner. I
Oh,
invite everybody to put that on their calendar, March 5th, when the book is released. It's going to be available for a super special rate of $1.99 for the first 24, possibly 48 hours. So, time sensitive opportunity. Make sure to put that on your calendar. We're excited and honored to be sharing out about it. We'll be sharing it on social media and such, so you can follow us there. And I know Lisa will also let you know the ways that you can lean in and follow her as well as we get closer to the release of her powerful book. Now, as you're looking ahead, I know this is a very busy time right before the launch. So I thank you for leaning in and spending some time with us. As you're looking ahead at this book going out into the world, what is one of your hopes? What do you hope happens as this book ripples out into the world?
I hope the people that I had a friend once that would tell me, those who know, know, and those who don't, don't. And so if you've grown up with this kind of abuse, you know. And if you don't, I hope that my book will both help people who know and people who don't know to understand what what is really is when you go through this kind of abuse, because it is it is hard to be alone in a situation like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I love that. So you're not alone, really bringing that information, education to people who have experienced something like that and who haven't. And I also feel like you give a lot of information and thought provoking moments, deep dives,
Mhm.
where a person can reflect and go deeper and really bring things forward and process and heal and choose how
Yep.
they're going to be and who they're going to be. So I'm very excited for this book to come forward. We are getting ready for our next commercial break. And as we do that, listeners, I want you to check your calendars, put this date on it, and also think about, are you really clear on who you are at a core, truly? And are you making choices that align with that? We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed taking a moment just checking in and seeing, are we living in alignment with who we truly are, or are we finding some disconnects? And it's not about judgment or criticism, but awareness, and maybe going deeper to see how things can come more and more into alignment of who you truly are and releasing who you are not. And that can be such a powerful and transformational journey. And I wanted to share as we're talking about transformation and we're talking about the month of love and really connecting with who you truly are, I wanted to share something personal with all of you that I'm just super excited about. So, today, those of you who are listening to us live, February 20th, we just launched a book that I am honored to be the compiler, the leader of the project, and wrote many of the inspirations that are in the book. It's called Wisdom from the Heart, and you can find it on Amazon in a digital format. That's how we launched it today for that special rate, should sound familiar, of $1.99 for the first 24 hours and possibly 48, just depending on how many people are engaging and participating. And something I really love about this book is many voices came together, both human and non human, to really share from their heart to yours on a daily basis things to help you connect back to your core, to your heart, and encourage you, uplift you. There's just so much support and love in the world, and we can miss it sometimes. And so we hope that this book, this resource, Wisdom from the Heart, can come alongside you and just whisper those messages, that encouragement, that support, that wisdom into your heart on a daily basis. So I'd love for you to lean in, check it out. And if it's something that can serve you, we'd be so honored to have you add it to your library. And if you would help us share it out, we're really looking to reach as many hearts and lives as possible. And one of the things I love about what Lisa is bringing forward is this desire to really help us at a core who we are level. And one of the things she was sharing with me behind the scenes was about helping, how she wants to help us. It's not just about giving us a fix sort of thing, it's about really helping us on a deeper level. And so, Lisa, I'd love for you to share a little bit about that with me.
Sure. So one thing that I've heard so many people say is no one can live your life, and it's so true because we really are individuals and we're unique, and that blueprint that we have, that intrinsic blueprint we have, is unique to us. Everybody has one. We all have a foundational core that is ours and unique to us, and nobody can build on that foundation but us. But people can mess it up. They can, well, they don't mess up the core, but the foundation, they build stuff on it that is not permanent. It's kind of like when you think about building a actual building and the foundation is there, it's set in stone and it's permanent, but the rest of the building can be torn down and rebuilt. And we are the only ones that can really, truly build on our foundation. And it means something to us as with our authenticity. So if we want to live in our authenticity, we have to be the one building on our foundation, not let other people choose who we're going to be, who we're going to become, how we show up to things. And we can learn from others. We can try things out and test things out. Somebody suggests something. That's always a great way to start. But we are the ones that decide what really works for us and what really doesn't.
I love that we get to be the architects, not somebody else. It's our design that
Right.
gets to come forward. And how did you build this concept into how you designed your book and what you shared to guide people or support people on their journey?
Well, as I said, my title is Facing Your Demons,
Mhm.
and I point out that our demons are our limiting beliefs, and our limiting beliefs rule us because we don't know how to do things differently. And if we were born into narcissistic abuse, then those limiting beliefs are built upon twisted viewpoints And they're also built on somebody else's viewpoints instead of us being allowed to gain our own perspectives about how we see life, how we show up, what our dreams are, and what we do next in our life, or how we present. It's really important that we find who we are, because as I said, no one can live our life. We are the ones who living our life. And somebody can insist we do things a particular way, and maybe that works for us. And then that's still us living our life. But if we're doing things because we have decided that that's the only way it can be because that's what we were told, then we're not living our life our way. We're living our life somebody else's way.
Mm.
That's going to give us, or that's going to take away from our experience in this life, because we really can only live our own life.
Beautiful. I love that. And I think sometimes we look for someone, just give me the answer, just tell me what to do, just tell
Right.
me how to fix it,
Exactly.
this kind of thing. But it's a deeper process. It's more involved in really learning how to, as they say, fish, not just be handed a fish, really learn how it is for you, experience it, walk through it, but then you can own it for the rest of your life, which is it's truly powerful.
I have a
And
couple examples, if you don't mind me sharing
sure,
them.
sure.
One of them is people would say the glass half empty, glass half full type of thing. And
Hmm.
I grew up in a situation, it was, my mother was very negative about a lot of things. And so I grew up learning to be negative, learning to see the difficulty, the problems, and oh, woe was me. I learned all of that stuff. And so as I was trying to go through my healing journey and try to upgrade and try to be more positive, it's like I can't see, no matter how hard I tried. I spent like a couple years trying to be positive and it just wasn't working out. I finally decided, you know what? The glass, I may see the glass has half empty, but the drink is awful and I'm halfway done. So I had to find my own twist on how to be positive, but that literally changed my perspective and gave me a conscious way of looking at things and saying, you know what? The world sees it this way and I don't. And it's okay,
Hmm.
because as I get older and grow more and learn more, I can see things my own way, and I'm okay with that now when I didn't used to be.
But that's powerful. Sometimes we get into that group think, or we want to be seen or perceived a certain way, but really starting to own more of who we are and being comfortable with that is really freeing and can really help us be on our own unique journey, which is so needed in the world. And one of the things I love about your book is the deep dives where people can explore those things for themselves and really see who they are, where they are in this, and go down that path, their own path, not somebody else's.
Right. Because I didn't want to write, people kept saying you should write things about how people can make changes. And I'm like, but I don't know how they need to make changes. I can tell them how I made a change, but that may not work for them. And then it would limit what people are doing, because I don't want to tell people what they need to be doing.
Hmm.
So I want to help them figure that out for themselves. And so I'm giving lots of different options. Like at the end, there's one of the things I talk about is um, ways to go in deeper. How do you look at yourself when you've been told your whole life you're nothing but a problem? For me, I was a punishment from a past life. So, whatever the narcissist has told you, you need to decide for yourself. And looking at that is really complicated, because what you are going to see is your limiting belief at the beginning. That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see anything else, because that's what you've been literally born into and raised with. So when you grow up and you can make those choices of how you see yourself or somebody else, I've got lots of different ways of learning to dive deep, and you need to take it slow and be okay with the process, because life is a process. One
Yes.
of the things I hated when people would say, if I can do it, you can do it. It's like, well, and if I can't do it, that makes me an idiot. So
Mm,
I'm not sure I want to hear what you have to say then. So I I would I tried to take that with a grain of salt when somebody would say something. Okay, is this something I want to do or is this something I don't want to do? And sometimes I quite literally lost opportunities because I was so triggered by that comment that I couldn't do it, whatever it was they were teaching. And
mm,
I learned to be okay with that. And you're like, you know what? I can circle around if that's something that'll work for me later, then I'll circle around to it. It'll show up somewhere and I will dig back into it then. Hopefully they won't say that triggering comment. And at some point I learned how to not be triggered by that so much. I can
mhm.
say, okay, that's just their perspective. Mine's different, and that's okay too.
Nice, nice. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I also, since we're on an audio format, I like to give a visual because we're having you write the date for Lisa's powerful book that's coming out. And I love for you to have a visual. So when you're looking on Amazon, you're looking in social media, that you know that this is the right book. I found it. So would you describe your cover a little bit? I'd love for you to share. It's very powerful.
Yeah, my daughter did the cover. It's of a young lady pulling back the top corner of the book, and she's actually looking within and seeing all these demons. And she's got a sword in her hand, so she's ready to face them. And that's kind of the whole point and message of the book. It's like when you're ready, then you can do it, and it's her sword, right? It's
Mhm.
not something that I handed to her, or it's me. So I'm it's not
Mhm.
something that somebody else handed me. I had to forge my own sword, and that's kind of the point.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
like the first thing I teach people is how to think, because growing up in under that kind of abuse, we're basically often not allowed to think. If we think for ourselves, then that could potentially be problematic to the narcissist. So we are chastised and punished and made to believe that what we were thinking was stupid and all the things, right? So I try to help people understand how to think for themselves. And that first part, once they learn, they don't even have to know to do it all the time. They just need to recognize that it is something they can do.
Hmm.
And at first, I knew that was what I needed to do, but I didn't know how. So I spent a lot of time learning how, a lot of time. But I am hoping that people won't have to take 40 years to figure that out.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I love the story behind the cover, and people know what to look for and what it represents when they lean into your powerful book. And our time is going so quickly, and I just wanted to give you a moment. Was there any final thought or message on your heart that you wanted to let people know as we bring our time together to a close?
um, I think I've said most of it.
Okay.
I wrote my book because I wanted people to understand they weren't alone.
Hmm.
Who I'm hoping to help is people who are completely disbelieving that they can make those changes for themselves. And I want to say that you're the only one that can make those changes for yourself. So let's figure out how to do that.
Thank you. It's very, very powerful. And that you are the one. The sword is in your hand and not someone else's, and it's forged by you. I think that's also really, really powerful that you shared with us. And as we get ready to go to our next commercial break, I encourage you to really take a moment, take these 2 minutes to really sink into what Lisa has shared with us. Give yourself some time to process, to reflect on it, really see what is speaking to your heart, to your spirit. And when we come back, Lisa will share her contact information, and we'll have just a couple of final thoughts we want to really empower you with today. So enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Welcome back, everyone. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you, and I hope that you've gotten some new perspectives and ways to look at what you are doing and how you are living, and is that truly in alignment with who you are at the core? Are you the architect? And if you find there are any disconnects, there's opportunities to make different choices to start to build those things that matter to you most. And I love what Lisa has been sharing and reminding us is that no one can do it for us. Can't just delegate that away. It's really choosing, building, creating the tools that work for you to bring forward what matters most to you. So, Lisa, just thank you for being with us today and sharing. And I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to share your contact information. And listeners, I invite you to write this down. We're very sincere in helping you connect with our experts and be able to follow and learn and add these powerful people to your tribe, to your community, to people that are coming alongside you. So, with that, Lisa, can you share the full title of your book, release date, and best contact information?
Its title is Facing Your Demons, Healing Beyond Narcissistic Family Relationships. It's being released March 5th this year. So I'm very excited about that. And the contact right now on my website is temporarily missing, but there is a weekly newsletter that you can sign up for. So that'll give me your email and I can make sure that that gets put into things. If you're interested in signing up for that. Also, as a coach, I work with people individually. I don't do group stuff, but yeah, that's it.
Perfect. And can you give us the site link? That way we can make sure
Oh,
to reach out and connect.
facingyourdemonsbook.com is the website.
Perfect. Oh, I love that brand consistency. It makes it easy. That's a
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that so much. And I did want to make sure I let everybody know Lisa's last name is pronounced Sites. I got so excited in my opening that I mispronounced that. So I just want to make sure that you guys have her correct pronunciation of Lisa's Sites and that we can keep our sights on Lisa and really lean into all that she's bringing forward to the world because it is very impactful. I found her book it moved me deeply and I got really great insights and perspectives in reading it. So I highly recommend it and know it'll be great value to those who are called to lean in and get a copy. So make sure to have that March 5th date. And for those of you who are interested in daily inspirational books and where there's a short reflection or an inspirational quote or something along those lines that can just come alongside you on a daily basis and give you that encouragement or that hug or that support poured directly into your heart, I encourage you to check out Wisdom from the Heart. It's a 365-day daily inspiration book, and it is available on Amazon, and you can look it up by name or you can look it up by my name and take advantage of that special rate of $1.99 for the first 24 hours. Would be so honored to have you lean in and see if this is a book that calls to you as we're looking to reach as many hearts and lives as possible. And as you take a moment today as our time together comes to a close, and I want you to really take time for you. It's so tempting to just rush back out into the world and the day is suddenly in charge and you're running here and there. Remember, the day doesn't get to be in charge. You do. So take a
Only you can live
moment.
your day.
Yeah, you get to live your day. Take a moment and really see what is on your heart. Be mindful about the choices. Don't just go into autopilot. Really choose how you're spending your time, your energy. You are a precious gift. There is no one else like you in the world. So be careful how you choose to spend your time and your energy and what you say yes to. I hope that you choose to bring more of you forward. That is the gift to the world, the gift of you, that you choose to share more of you, that you choose to bloom where you're planted and shine, share out the amazing gift of who you are in the world. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to talking to you next time.